Hey everyone, Keep7 here, back with another Magic the Gathering Arena video, and today we're going over more Kaldheim spoilers. There are 4 for today, today being December 23rd, so let's get right into it. So the first card is Blessing of Frost. It's a 4 mana, 3 and a green, snow sorcery. So snow is a mechanic that is a returning mechanic. He's staring at a cute little guy. So it's a snow sorcery. Snow is a returning mechanic. It's new to me. I looked it up. It looks like snow is just, you can tap snow sources. So this is a snow sorcery. You can't tap this, but there are, there are sources, creatures, artifacts, lands that are snow lands, snow creatures, whatever, that you can tap for snow mana. Distribute X +1/+1 counters among any number of creatures you control, where X is the number of snow spent to cast this spell. Then draw a card for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. Snow is mana from a snow source. So I think that's how it works. There might be some more in-depth stuff. Again, it's a new mechanic for me. I just did a quick search on how it worked and what it was mechanically. But yeah, that's the card. A 4 mana distribute X +1/+1 counters. I don't really think that that's super great, but there is a lot of support being brought out for some sort of counter tribal deck. If Abzan counters or Golgari counters or something becomes a deck, this could be good in it. It is card draw for green, like as if green needs more card draw, right? Like green almost has some of the most powerful card draw right now, and now it's getting more. But yeah, I don't think that this card is. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's like particularly great. I could be wrong. But next is Battle for Beretta. It's 3 mana, 1, a green, and a white. It's an enchantment saga. It has 3 chapters. Chapter 1: create a 1/1 white human warrior creature token. Chapter 2, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. And Chapter 3, choose any number of artifact tokens and or creature tokens you control with different names. For each of them, create a token that's a copy of it. This is, I don't know, 3 chapters to create copies, and it's just creating 2 1/1s. Like, I don't think that this is very good. I could be totally wrong. It's one source that creates 2 bodies, but over 2 turns. Do you really want to be spending 3 mana on something that, like, if this stuff gets removed, the 3rd chapter doesn't even really do anything? And, like, even if one of these gets, I don't see it. It has blink ability with Yorion, so you can just, like, even on if you catch it on chapter 2, you can just reset it, kind of. So, like, maybe in, like, I know Selesnya Yorion, Selesnya Yorion Blink was, like, a deck for a while. Obviously, I think Esper has been far and away the best variant of the Yorion decks. But maybe this helps that. I don't really know. I mean, I think there are just better things to be doing with your 3 mana slot. Like Llanowar Visionary and stuff to draw cards. Maybe this takes another... the Yorion decks are obviously 80 cards, so maybe you can fit more in your 3 slots, but I don't know. Not particularly. I mean, I guess the 3rd chapter is pretty great for Yorion because you can copy artifacts. So, like, you could copy a glass casket. You could copy Maze Mind Tome. So, like, that's kind of good, I guess, for Yorion decks. But I don't know, to catch that on the 3rd chapter and stuff. I don't know. It's I don't think it's very good, but it's a card. The next card I'm kind of excited about. I don't really know. It's interesting. 3 mana, 2 and a red, legendary human berserker creature with haste. He's a 3/3, so a 3 mana 3/3 with haste is, like, kind of cool. Kind of interesting. And he has an ability called Boast, which you can pay 1 mana, and you may change Arnie, and his name is Arnie Brokenbrow. For pay 1 mana, you may change Arnie Brokenbrow's base power to 1 plus the greatest power among other creatures you control until the end of turn. So that's interesting. My first thought was Annex. This would be really cool with an Annex. Like your Annex could have like really high devotion or whatever to red, and then you can just pay one, and then Arnie gets that as well. But the thing about it is, does mono red really need more things to clog up their 3 spot? I don't think so. What mono red needs is a lot more cards for their 1 slot, doesn't it? Like mono red is missing, its scorch spitters, and I think it's cheap threat. I mean, it still has fervent champion, which is obviously just a fantastic 1 drop, but Akum Hellhound hasn't really filled in that lethal 1 slot. Like I think fervent champion needs something to work in tandem with it that is just good. Scorch Spitter was good because once you got a Torbrand down, a Scorch Spitter trigger could do some damage, could do some work. Akum Hellhound is good but not great. I don't know. I feel like the 1 and 2 mana slots for mono red are much more important than their 3 and 4 mana, 5 mana slots. Like those are all taken up by great cards right now. It's like the beginning 1-2 spots that are tough. Maybe this does fit in. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is kind of what mono red's missing. Maybe not. My second thought for this card was Gruul. If you throw down a Kazandu Mammoth, you throw this guy down, you throw down a Fabled Passage, you crack the Fabled Passage, you got a 7/7. You got a 7/7 Mammoth swinging. If you can pay the 1 extra mana, you could have a 7/7 and an 8/3, right? Like what? So I don't know. And with Brushfire Elemental, I think this slots in really well with Gruul, and with like a very fast low mana cost Gruul, like turn 1 fervent champion, turn 1 fervent champion, turn 2 Brushfire Elemental, turn 3 something that's very curve out, maybe a lot less about the the Gruul adventure game plan, which is kind of almost like a mid-rangey, like grinding things out, getting down the Innkeeper, and then drawing cards, and eventually getting up to these big damage turns. Although I guess they get damage done pretty quickly with like Brushfire Elemental and stuff, but maybe this fits into Gruul, is my point, somewhere, some way. Maybe this has like some huge like turn 2, turn 3 game-winning combinations with Kazandu Mammoth or Brushfire Elemental, and can win you games that way. Maybe, I don't know. That's what my thought was. Without playing and knowing, you don't know, but I think that this could work well there. So that's my thought. I'm excited for Arnie Broken Bow because I think he could shake things up for mono red and bring it back into the fold. I think he slots well into Gruul, and I think he could be a contender there. We'll have to wait and see. And then, last but not least, the card that So, Vorniclex Monster. By the way, Vorniclex just sounds like medicine. That sounds like something you'd see like a commercial for that has like a million side effects that are worse than what you're actually trying to treat. Try Vorniclex. Side effects include explosive diarrhea. Vorniclex, Monstrous Raider, 6 mana, 4 and 2 green, legendary Phyrexian Praetor creature. He's a 6/6 with trample and haste. Which, like, what the fuck is going on with green these days? Green doesn't need, I'll finish the card. Okay, legendary Phyrexian Praetor creature, 6/6 trample haste. If you would put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, put twice that many of each of those kinds of counters on that permanent or player instead. If an opponent would put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, they put half that many of each of those kinds of counters on that permanent or player instead, rounded down. So, one thing I need to vent about is what the fuck is happening with green? Why is green getting all of the absolutely shit fucking kicking, dick balls punching greatest cards out there? I mean, green has like the best card draw with like Trail of Crumbs and the Great Henge and Edgewall Innkeeper. Green has like some of the best creatures out there, and like Lovestruck Beast. Elder Gargroth is like good, but obviously, I mean, he just gets removed. But you got like Kazandu Mammoth, Lovestruck Beast, like some of the just absolute like just bombs creatures that are just so good. And now it's getting this, which this is so like think about like this is crazy good. I mean, obviously a 6 mana 6 we all the first thing I thought of was Elder Gargaroth and how it just easily gets removed, but like this has trample and haste, so it's like an immediate threat for your opponent. Like if they can't deal with this, they're probably losing anyway. And on top of that, even if they do survive, any follow-up plan that they might have, if they try to throw down like an Ugin or something, Ugin can't remove this if he comes down because Ugin only comes in with half the amount of counters, rounded down. So he goes from 7 to what, 3? Like, have fun Ugining a board of like 3 or less, and then leaving this on the table to just fuck your Ugin out of existence. And then you play another one, and guess what? You still can't remove just this thing is sick, dude. Any planeswalker your opponent tries to play, just half the counters rounded down. And you play an Ugin, and he's up to what? Twice as many? So Ugin started with 14. You can ult an Ugin if you have this on the battlefield and draw 7 and then play. Like, what the fuck? That's sick. Like, just imagine this in like a counters deck too. Like, counters is getting help, and it better be a playable deck. After that, like it's just getting so much support that if counters still sucks, then counters just as a mechanic are just stupid and bad, and you shouldn't ever play them. Like they have so much coming out in this set, and they already have so much, like Conclave Mentor, and just so many creatures that are good with counters on them. And now it has this, and it had like there's so much support out there for a deck that plays with counters and putting counters on creatures. It better be playable after Kaldheim because there's so much out there right now, and I'm so psyched. I'm so psyched for this card. This card is so cool. I really like it. Everything you play that has counters on it gets like twice as many, and it's so cool. And who thought that we would see a Phyrexian card in Kaldheim? I didn't see that coming. Like I know obviously Phyrexia and all that is from sets I don't even know about. I know enough about it to know that I wouldn't have expected to see them in Kaldheim. Like I don't know what Phyrexians have to do with Vikings and stuff, but it's a fucking cool card, man. It's mythic, so there's that. But it's trample and haste. Haste is like what? Why does green need like you already have like questing? Like why does green get everything good nowadays? Like why? Why isn't this red? Like what? Why isn't this any other color? Why does green get to have all the fun? Like, if you're not playing in green in standard, what are you doing? Because it just clearly has the absolute best library of cards. Is green has it all, literally card draw, big creatures, unbeatable threats. Like, if you're not playing green, you're doing it wrong. Man, this is a cool fucking card, and I'm excited for it. Off the top of my head was all the Ugin thoughts and stuff like that. And counters, obviously. I'm just trying to think of like what other counters you would be interested in putting on stuff, but nothing's really coming to mind. I've been playing a lot of Historic, haven't been playing a lot of Standard, so I don't know how much Planeswalkers are really that important in Standard right now. I can't really think of a deck that plays Planeswalkers. The Gruul Adventures doesn't play Planeswalkers, does it? Dimir Control doesn't play Planeswalkers. Temur Adventure Ramp doesn't play Planeswalkers. Well, no, Temur Adventure Ramp plays Ugin, doesn't it? With the Genesis Ultimatum, so I guess there's that, but this hoses that. This hoses Ugin, which Ugin needed an answer, and this is kind of a good one. I think Ugin, was balanced, but too often, could ruin mid-range or aggro, and now mid-range and potentially aggro have an answer to it post-sideboard. Aggro has a post-sideboard answer to Ugin, and mid-range, absolutely, oh my god. As somebody who loves Golgari mid-range, the decks have gotten so much good shit lately, I am just over the moon. So, if I can't make a good Golgari mid-range deck after all that's come out, with Agonizing Remorse, with this guy, Elder Gargaroth and stuff, I better have something playable. But anyway, Um, I like it. I like this card a lot. I think this card is sick. Um, and I just can't wait to see what I can brew up with this thing. This is going to be fun. This is going to be really cool. So that's it. Those are the 4 cards that will show you today. Those are just my thoughts on them. Those are just kind of, after reading the cards for a little bit, just my first thoughts. As Kaldheim comes out, obviously everything's going to change, because once you actually get these in the client and can start playing around with them and start brewing, that's when, you know, the real value of these creatures and spells and cards becomes apparent. But that's just kind of my first thoughts. And yeah, I'm just getting more and more excited for this set. There are a lot of really fucking cool cards that I think are going to fit into a lot of really fucking cool decks. So yeah, I'm stoked. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you, as always, for watching. More stuff coming in the near future. Yeah, keep your ear to the ground. Stay cool. Stay frosty.